Today's topic is generating business from your sphere of influence. And once again, we're joined by Ricardo. So Ricardo, let's just get straight into it. Talk about yourself. How long have you been in the real estate industry and what are you most passionate about?
So I've been in the industry since 2001, roughly about 17 years now. I started off in the mortgage industry. Spent a little bit of time in title, but most of my career has been in real estate. Part of my career, I was able to spend some time working for Zillow.com. And while I was there, I really developed a passion really opened my eyes to the whole online space and the power of growing your business through lead generation. And while I was there, I discovered that online marketing is, in my opinion, the most effective way to exponentially grow your sphere of influence. All of us have those folks that know, like, and trust us, or family, or friends, or relatives, but that only grows so big. And we can only knock on so many doors and do so many like manual type tasks to grow our sphere of influence. So in my opinion, the best way to exponentially grow your sphere of influence and have as many people know that you do real estate is through online advertising. And so while I was there at Zillow, I really developed a passion. I had the opportunity to work with hundreds of agents across the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast. So I was able to work closely with a lot of agents that had figured out that space and figured out how to develop relationships and build rapport and trust with a huge sphere of influence. And they treated the agents that I interacted with, the ones that were getting the most success from their online advertising, were the folks that treated those contacts like their sphere of influence. They built relationships. They gave them the good information that they needed to make a big purchasing decision. They built rapport and communicated with them often. So yeah, my time at Zillow really opened up my eyes to that. And after a couple of years, I decided to resign from Zillow, get back into the real estate space, and have been working directly in that for about 6 years now.
Perfect. So it's important. You always want to have, like you said, build that personal relationship with your clients and then kind of convert them into your sphere.
Correct.
Right.
One of my biggest pet peeves is when I hear agents say that, oh, that's a bad lead or that's a crappy lead. I really believe that every lead that comes in is a human being that has family, friends, relatives. If they're not ready to buy, if we nurture that relationship well enough, then there's a high likelihood that they'll remember you and refer you ancillary business. So yeah, I think it's very important to build those relationships.
Yeah. So talking about that, how do you stand out with your leads to avoid a lead falling through the cracks, or even just how you want to maintain that relationship? So how do you stand out as a real estate agent?
So I guess one thing is really is to use a CRM. I think it's important to stay organized, and one of the best tools to stay organized and stay on task is to find a CRM that works well for you. A lot of people ask me, hey, what's the best CRM? I think the best CRM is the one that you're effectively using every day. It doesn't matter the brand. It matters how you follow up and stay in touch. And so definitely having using a CRM. It doesn't matter which one. And then having a strategy. It took a while, but developing a strategy for following up. Most of the time, in my experience coaching agents, what they do with the new lead is maybe they write it down on a napkin, put it in their glove box, and remember that lead 2 or 3 weeks later when they find it while they're cleaning their car. So I think it's important to capture that information, put into your CRM, and begin to strategically follow up with them. Make sure that you have them set up on your home search portal, dripping properties on them. setting tasks and reminders to follow up with that relationship. So that's some of the other strategies, and just having a good strategy. I ask that often when I speak with agents that aren't getting the most out of their online experience or their advertising. I ask them, hey, so tell me about your follow-up strategy. What is your follow-up strategy like? And 9.5 times out of 10,
Non-existent.
most folks don't have a follow-up strategy. So
kind of piggybacking on that, is there a certain time where you just kind of, I would say, give up on a lead if it's been, let's say, 4 months and they've never opened your email? Do you?
No. I think that's not a good practice. Again, going back to everyone in my database is a human being. And I want them to know that I'm here to help them buy or sell when the timing is right for them. Because buying and selling a home is one of the biggest things that anyone's ever going to transact upon. Just because I clicked on that button doesn't mean that they have to be ready right now. It doesn't mean that they have to work on my time frame. It's I should be working on their time frame. It's a big scary thing. You and I speak real estate every day. Consumers do not speak real estate every day. They don't clearly understand the process, and they need information. They need education to be able to make a really big decision. So when we're scared to pick up that phone, when agents are scared to pick up that phone and make those phone calls, those consumers are about 10 times more scared than the fear that you're going through to pick up that phone call and continue to build that relationship. So yeah, it's important.
Never give up.
Yeah, do not give up. Do not give up. Build those relationships.
Yeah, definitely. And then building those relationships, besides just follow up, is there anything else you do to kind of build that unique relationship with each and every lead?
Well, I guess one is going back to strategy. I think one thing to remember is not everyone is good picking up the phone. Some folks prefer texting. Some people prefer social media, email. So it's good to kind of test those different strategies. Test those different forms of communication with each one of your leads. If they're not picking up the phone, then maybe send them a text. Or if they're not replying back to your text, maybe reach out to them to social media. One thing you have to remember is when they click that button and expressed an interest in a list of properties or expressed an interest in 123 Main Street, they've given the professional permission to reach out to them. So we should have a sense of urgency to reach out to them and reach out to them until we connect and get them that information that they're looking for. Don't feel bad about making that phone call or that text message because they gave you the okay when they clicked that button.
Yeah, exactly. I've never actually thought about it that way, how they give you the okay, so therefore it's okay for you you're not bugging them because they were first.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then how does all of this transfer into just growing your sphere, therefore generating more business for yourself?
So as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a lot of times we want to convert these leads like right now, but some folks are going to be ready in 1 month. You might get that cash buyer that's ready to buy tomorrow. So when you kind of shift your mindset and just tell yourself, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to have business tomorrow, 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 6 months from now. And if you just stick to the plan, if you just stick to your advertising and stick to your follow-up, like over time, you're going to have buyers and sellers at all stages of the buying and selling cycle, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. And it's a beautiful thing. I think that's what we all want as agents is to create a predictable business for ourselves, to know and feel confident that we always have a paycheck coming in. Because that's a very common fear for real estate professionals, is not knowing when that next paycheck is coming in. And so in my opinion, I think nurturing your database and following up and building relationships is a huge way to create more of a predictable business for ourselves.
Yeah. And I know you're really good at building those relationships. Just a little shout out to Ricardo. He was actually on House Hunters. Is that right? Yeah, it was House Hunters. Yeah. And from what I understand, that came about. You were somewhere and you just started talking to someone, correct?
Yeah. I was visiting with a good buddy of mine in Los Angeles. His birthday party. there was a gal just sitting there all alone. She wasn't talking to anyone, and I just sparked up a conversation with her. And she said, "Hey, what do you do?" Well, I asked her, "Hey, so what do you do?" She goes, "Oh, I'm a producer. I work on this show, and then also House Hunters." She said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I do real estate." She's like, "Okay, you want to be on TV?" Yeah. So
that easy.
It was that. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. What a great experience to have too.
Incredible experience. Yeah.
Are you going to do it again?
I can do up to 4 more shows. And I'm working on one right now. We're not filming, but working on putting one together right now. And then also working on getting my daughter. She's a new agent with us, and we're helping her see if she can get in.
Ooh, yeah. A little Jimenez, the TV stars, the Jimenez TV stars over there.
That's pretty fun.
Well, is there any last minute words of advice you want to give to everyone watching today? Last minute
words of advice. I guess just going back to what I said earlier, I think it's really important to just love on your leads. They're all human beings. They all have relationships, and just do your best to educate those contacts, those opportunities, and provide them the information they need to make a really, really big decision. It's a scary thing, buying a home. Your consumers are taking on $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 debts, even $1 million debts, and they don't speak our language every day. And so just continue to love on your leads, build those relationships. You're not being a pest. Don't apologize for reaching out to them. Feel obligated to reach out to each and every one of these leads. And over time, just be patient, but over time, you will have a database of buyers and sellers at all stages, and create a much more predictable business for yourself.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ricardo. You have so much knowledge, and if every agent was like you, I think everyone would have quite a bit of business. Just trying to love on those leads and nurturing them. It's very important to build those relationships. So thanks again for sharing all of your knowledge with us. And next week's topic, we are going to have Chris Bello. He is the host of the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. And our topic for next week is positive thinking. What is the law of attraction? So don't miss out on that one. It will be a good one. Once again, thank you, Ricardo, for joining us this week. And thank you to everyone who joined us live, and everyone who's going to be watching this afterwards as well. We appreciate all of your views and all of your feedback. So continue to join us each and every week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.